Good evening and welcome to episode 107. As always, we will start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, see all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. This time, completely let yourself go like a rag doll. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identified that, think about why you're thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you're thankful for and why. If you are with someone, tell it to each other. All right. So let's talk about going with the flow today. As we all know, life is a flow. Life keeps changing all the time. It's like a mountain stream running all the time. Its nature is to flow. Sometimes it feels as if we barely get our footing, and all of a sudden, the ground is shifting beneath us. We try so hard to keep things the same. Human beings, they like familiarity, right? We resist change. Our brain is wired towards familiarity bias. We would rather accept known pain than risk unknown pleasure. Think about that. The reason for that is the pain of loss is usually a lot greater than the pleasure of gain. You see a lot of people who are in a toxic job. They hate their job, they hate their company, they hate their bosses, they hate their colleagues, but they don't want to move because they don't know what's on the other side. They are in their familiar zone. That okay, I hate all of that. Even then, I know what the pain is, and I'm able to manage that pain. Right? So they're in a pain management business, right? But even then, the life keeps changing. It changes from moment to moment. Give you an example. Look outside, right? We have flowers, trees, everything. And a hailstorm comes or a tornado comes, it's gone in an instant. I had a guy at my house this week giving me price on my awning, and he was telling me that the day we had tornado a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, something like that, he was driving from a client side back to his home in Lakewood, and on the way, he was right in the middle of this tornado. He saw a tree which was spinning literally in the ground, spinning 360 degrees. 100-year-old tree gone just like that. Oof. Right? So change keeps happening. Another example I can give you. I'm sure you heard the phrase manage growth. It's a term that was in fashion 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. But in reality, there is no such thing. Either you grow or you shrink. There is no other option. Anybody heard of Blockbuster? Right? They were on top of their world, king of the hill, if you will. And what happened? Netflix ate their lunch before even streaming, just by those mail order DVDs. On the flip side, look at IBM, 100-year-old company. They were always able to reinvent themselves. I remember IBM's original business was selling cash registers, dumb cash register. I mean, they could do, well, not dumb, they could do additions, but that's about it. Hence the name International Business Machines. That was the machine they were selling. But they kept evolving, and the technology kept evolving. We, on the other hand, always try to fix things because we don't like the flow of life. As soon as we fix something to our liking, something else breaks. And that's what Buddha calls it impermanence. One moment gives rise to next moment and the moment after that. So if you think about it, there are no things per se, because when you say things, it kind of implies permanence. And everything keeps changing moment by moment. Well, someone would say, well, my body is a thing. But is it really though? Right? Look at your body 10 years ago, look at your body today. It's changed drastically. Look at 10 years, right? It changes day to day. Maybe very subtle, but it changes day to day. Well, in my case, my scale tells me it's kept going up every day. So in Buddhism, there's something called functional thing actually, as opposed to a thing which may be static. So take an example of a seedling. Its function is to create a sprout. Once sprout comes up, it stopped being a seed. So there is no seed anymore. And then sprout function is to become a sapling. And the sapling function is to become a tree, and so on and so forth, right? So they keep going out of existence and something new comes up. Everything is always in the nature of change. And we have to learn to accept it and go with it and adapt to it. Why is that important? The sooner we accept the change, better it is for us, because change is the only constant. If we accept that change is part of nature, we will not try to force things, right? We'll try and accept things as they come. And that will reduce our anxieties, our stress, because we are no longer fighting against the flow, right? If we fight against change in our minds and in our hearts, for example, we're going to lose because impermanence is the reality. No one wants to be unhappy. None of us wants to be unhappy. But if we all want to be happy, then our only option is to go with the flow. We can call it patience, resilience, grace under fire, whatever name you want to give it. It's the only way to stay peaceful, calm, and accepting no matter what life throws us. If good things happen, we're happy. If bad things happen, we accept them happily. The only way to be happy is to stop being unhappy. Does that make sense? We are unhappy because we don't accept what's going on in our lives. We're fighting. We're trying to fix things. We're trying to build these dams, right? In the flow of river, we call it life. And this is where practice of patient acceptance is so important. Patient acceptance means ability to accept wholeheartedly. We accept it as is, as it appears, without wishing it to be otherwise. And that's the key, right? Without wishing it to be otherwise. Because otherwise, we are grudgingly accepting it. Very different than patiently accepting it. Let's look at for an example. Let's say we want to go for a hike. We load up the car, start driving. We have a packed lunch, this, that, everything, right? We drive for 2 hours, and all of a sudden there are thunderstorms. If we get unhappy that it's raining, it will ruin our day. Instead, you accept that it's raining and pull out an umbrella to protect us from the rain. And you can use this example for anything else, right? Anything else that may be going on in our world. I have people who say, you know what, there's so much injustice in the world, and I need anger to fight that injustice. And I'm saying that, you know what, bring out the umbrella. I have no problem you, you know, go helping people to solve problems. Absolutely not. That's the right thing to do. But don't let that disturb your inner peace. If you see homeless people, if that's your cause, right, take them to a shelter, give them food, right? Whatever you can do. Hunger's your cause, go serve in soup kitchen, right? If, you know, health is your cause, go volunteer at a hospital, right? You can do all of those things, but don't let that bother your inner peace. That's the key. So today, in meditation, I want to leave you with a shortcut to happiness called transfer of enjoyment meditation. This meditation is a doorway into this practice of getting our mind to a happy state in an instant. It's not all and be all, of course, right? But it's a good practice to use this meditation until we get to a point where we can get into a happy state on demand without needing any external stimulus, right? That's the key. So here's what we're going to do. As always, we'll settle down at our hearts. Then we'll imagine a time or experience we had that was a really enjoyable experience for us. The type of experience that brings a smile to our face the moment we think about the experience. It could be anything, right? For some people, maybe, going to mountains on a lake or something. Whatever it may be, it's up to you. You don't have to share it. So just, be true to yourself. Then we'll take that joy and transform it into a bliss-like feeling throughout our body. We'll eventually let go of that imagination of the experience. but hold on to that bliss like feeling. That's the key, right? And of course, I'm going to guide you through the whole process. So, if you're ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture, cross seated position, or if you're in a chair, make sure your feet are touching the ground, back straight, spine upright, shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open so that way any stress you may have accumulated in your jaws will dissipate. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, completely let yourself loose. Now, bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention on the sensation of your breath for about a minute or so on your own. Now, bring your attention at your heart. Feel the peace of your root mind at your heart. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, imagine a time when you were full of joy. It just brought peace to your heart. Just thinking about that brings a smile on your face. Whatever that may be for you. Think about that joy at your heart. Imagine it radiates to your entire body. Every cell of your body can feel that joy, that blissfulness. Now, you can drop the imagination. Hold on to that joy in every cell of your body. Feel it. Your body is bursting with joyfulness. Single pointedly hold on to that as long as you can. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions? Go ahead, Anka.
Yes, uh, I think what you said is 100% correct. That change is inevitable, even in the nature or for any other living entity, human or animals.
Yeah.
But how, at least I will talk about the human being, that how they accept the change or they resist.
Mhm.
If the change comes from nature, like day, night, or winter, summer, or anything, tornado, rain, we accept as a act of God or nature, whatever it is. We do not resist. Only thing we try to wait and watch and see that when the event will be over.
Right.
If it is coming from some other source, like another example that you are in the office or college or social events and you don't like something, like music playing in the hall, you just wait and watch with little pain that let this be over and probably the next event will be good.
Yeah.
It's acceptance of the situation, but with pain. Like you have a bad colleague or bad project or bad manager, you just wait with the pain or unhappiness.
Mhm.
But when the change comes from the known people, like family or friends,
Mhm.
you try to resist most of the time
Mhm.
rather than accepting as a good thing to do.
Mhm.
And you only change only when it becomes a compulsory for you because of your health reason or financial reason or some social reason that you have to change your attitude or behavior. So till that time, you fight to your teeth and nails.
Why?
It's because the perception is that when it comes from the known person, you think that he is trying to rule me, he's trying to dictate me, and I do not like that. Who is he to tell me?
Exactly. I mean, if you look at even tort law, right? If you look at contracts,
Yeah,
every contract you have, right, there is this act of God exception,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you're late, I'm going to charge you penalty. But if you're late because of act of God, no penalties,
No, yeah, yeah,
right? Right. So, we, as you said, rightly so, that
yeah,
we, if someone we know or someone who we are in relationship, business or
yeah,
otherwise, personal,
yeah.
then we are not able to accept
That's
the facts as the same thing happened with tornado, no problem, right? If somebody cut my
yeah,
tree, otherwise
yeah,
I'm up and arm about it, right? I mean, the end result's the same, just a
yeah.
tree got cut, right?
It's depends on the source and your ability to understand and write through or oppose.
And I think that's because, and I watched a very interesting clip today. I forgot who it was from, but he said, as human beings, our mind has not evolved. We have not gone through evolution because our mind still is in fight or flight mode. That original, animal instinct kicks in,
Fight
right?
or flight.
Fight or flight, right? And more often than it's fight than flight, obviously. But and that's what we're trying to do here, is to make sure that if we can somehow evolve that thought process, right? So it's a journey, right?
It's a journey, but then that realization is very probably difficult.
Yep.
That thing has changed, circumstances has changed in the family or surrounding, and you have to adjust with a new environment or new family members or new things basically.
If we reach our peacefulness every day, if we can touch our peacefulness and be mindful throughout the day, I think slowly but surely we will make progress.
I think I do agree, but that's a very slow process, and it comes with probably a lot of I won't say experience, but when you are
Introspection.
yeah,
It comes with a
and,
lot of introspection.
and to some extent we take certain things granted, and we have a high expectation,
Yeah,
and we refuse to leave that expectation or expectation.
I agree. Aditi, you have something to say, please?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with both of you actually. And I would like to add something
Please.
that Yes, acceptance, radical acceptance is difficult. It's not like easy thing. You have to constantly remind yourself that, uh, just accept, if you are in Seattle and it's raining, you cannot complain about it,
That's
right?
right.
But at the same time, uh, uh, to answer, I think his name is Mukesh Bhai, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So his question is like, is just to make it less painful, this acceptance of anything in the family, at new work, or anywhere, is to set your own boundaries, I think, uh, where you can just uh, recognize that what works for you, what suits you, and how much do you want to get involved, and then try to put on smile. So that's what I'm also trying. I'm way, I have to go really far. Actually, I am not even quite close to that, but that's what I was thinking, that, if we can just set those boundary, if we continue living the way we like to live, or let's say we are pleasing everyone and anyone, then you will definitely get tired, and then you will have that expectation that they will do the same. But sometimes different people are different, right? And
Yep.
not necessarily right or wrong.
That's right. That's right.
So that's all I wanted to add.
No, I think you have a very good point that, if we, first of all, we have to recognize our own boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then apply those. I think that's a very good point because that will remove a lot of internal stress we may be carrying,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep.
So it's a, like I say, it's a journey. We'll get there. I
Yep,
promise.
yep. And soon with your help, Nirobe.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. So, all right, I'm going to stop recording.